If you're still treating social media like I'll post and my followers will see it, you've probably felt the frustration already because that's not how it works anymore. Gary Vaynerchuk calls it interest media. The algorithm decides what shows up based on what people pay attention to, not who they are friends with or who they follow. And for local businesses, that changes the whole game. You have to know exactly who you want to reach and speak directly to what they care about, or you'll get ignored. Welcome to the Get Digital Marketing Results podcast, where we give you information and actionable tips to grow your organization.
Hi, I'm Bob Clark.
And I'm Donna Botti. We're with Delos Inc. And today we're talking about Gary V's concept of interest media, how the algorithms are shaping what people see and what local businesses should do to earn attention from the right customers.
Donna, let's define this in plain English. What does interest media mean?
It means that the feed isn't primarily a social feed anymore. You're not just seeing posts from people you know or follow. What you're seeing is what the algorithm thinks you'll watch, click, or linger on. Interest-based content gets distributed. Follower count matters less than it used to.
Which explains why people say, I have followers. Why didn't anyone see this?
Exactly. And it also explains why a smaller account can post something that hits the right interest, and suddenly it goes farther than a big account that posts something generic.
So what's the upside for local businesses? Because that sounds kind of annoying.
Yes, here's the upside though. You don't need to be popular. You don't need to have tons of followers. You need to be relevant. It's not about the number of people you reach, it's about the right people. If you talk directly to the customer you actually want, their concerns, their questions, their priorities, the algorithm has something to match you to.
And the downside is if you try to talk to everyone,
You end up talking to no one. You sound like every other business, and the algorithm has no clear interest to attach you to.
so what does talk to the right customer look like in practice for a local business?
Well, it starts with one decision. Who are we trying to attract? Not just anybody nearby, but the type of business that you want more of. Who's the best customer for that? Think the type of homeowner, the type of company, the type of buyer, and what problem they're trying to solve. Then your content is basically you showing up as the helpful expert for that person consistently.
And that's where a lot of businesses get stuck because they confuse more content with better content.
That's right. More content doesn't fix unclear messaging. In interest media, clarity wins. If you're a local business, you want someone to see your post and instantly think, that's me.
Here's a few easy categories of content you could try. Questions you get all the time, mistakes you see people make, and what to expect, how the process works, what it costs in general terms, what the results look like, and what to do before you call. That's the stuff people actually care about.
And the algorithm loves that too because it's interest driven. People stop, they read, they watch, they save it. And for local businesses, that's how you build trust before they ever call. You're showing up in their feed because they're interested in the topic. Then when they need the service, you're the name they remember.
There's also a mindset shift here. You're not posting updates, you're posting answers.
That's true. Nobody is waiting for our updates. They're looking for solutions that are relevant to them. And interest media rewards the businesses that show up with something useful and specific.
All right, action steps. Here are three things you can do this week. First, break down the characteristics of the customer you want more of. That's your target. Second, list the top 10 questions that person asks before they buy and turn the easiest one into a post this week. Third, for the next month, keep your content aimed at that same person. Don't bounce between audiences because consistency is what teaches the algorithm and your market what you're about.
We're not in social media the way it used to be. We're in interest media, and the algorithm is matching people to what they care about, not just who they follow. So the businesses that win are the ones that get really clear on who they want, speak directly to that person's concern, and stay consistent long enough to build recognition.
And that's it for today's episode. You can find links and more resources at delosinc.com/episode 441. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on actionable digital marketing tips to grow your organization.
Thanks for listening to the Get Digital Marketing Results podcast. If you're ready to simplify your marketing and build reliable growth for your business, visit us at delosinc.com to learn more.